At ngayon, makakausap ho natin live sa ating studio ang incoming presidential spokesperson, Ernesto Ernie Abella. Magandang gabi po. Welcome to our program. And ano po ba, bago ho itong trabahong ibinibigay sa inyo. So, welcome to the job.
Oo nga eh. Napasalang.
Kamusta ho? Kamusta ho ang pagtanggap nyo dito sa inyong bagong tungkulin sa susunod na o incoming na administration?
Eh, nung tinanong nga ako, sabi nga kung tatanggapin ko raw ba yung, yung position, yung trabaho, sabi ko naman, it will be my honor and pleasure. Dahil unang-una, paniwala naman ako sa ginagawa ni President Duterte sa yung nagawa niya na sa Davao at yung nakikita kong pangitain niya, his vision for the nation.
Ano ho nangyari kay Attorney Salvador Panelo? Kahapon he was spokesman. Today we learned wala na pala siya at kayo dati deputy spokesperson lang, ngayon kayo na ang presidential spokesperson. Parang ang bilis sa mga pangyayari. May nangyari ho ba?
Wala po, wala. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Ano lang, the president, the incoming president, is just looking for people who will be able to really serve yung serve the positions to the fullest. And lawyer nga naman si Atty. Panelo. So he will be more effective apparently, according to the mind and thinking of the president in that position.
Pero ibang-iba ho kayo ni Atty. Panelo. Hindi ho ripped yung inyong jeans. Yung meeting po ninyo kagabi, yung inyong cabinet meeting sa PICC, how was it? Kasi bago niyan somebody described itong composition ng gabinete ni incoming President Duterte as parang team of rivals daw, parang mga magkakaiba ng mga persuasions, may new names, old names, may mga leftist, may mga rightist. So paano ho bang dynamics ng bagong gabinete?
Well, if I base it on what happened last night, it was a very exciting group. It's going to be a very exciting group. Kumbaga, may nagtanong nga kanina sa akin, sabi, ano raw ba yung common denominator ng grupo? And I said, what I noticed is that the group is basically, it shares a common passion for service to the nation. Kumbaga, meron talagang desire na magsilbi. And to see na magbago talaga yung bayan.
Organizational ho ba yung nature ng inyong meeting? Kasi sabi ho nun, may clusters daw yung meeting na to. Parang yung mga mga departamento na magkakapareho ang concerns, I understand, yun ang mga mag-meet. May nangyari ho bang ganon?
I think there were certain groups before and after. Pero basically, yung period ng meeting was all organizational. Pagtatahi-tahi ng mga loose ends.
Okay. Ano na ho ang mangyayari sa media setup ng incoming administration? Ang sabi ho yata ni Secretary Andanar, walang itatalagang press secretary. Okay. So meron lang PCO, and then the spokesperson, and then Andanar himself. Paano ho ba?
Ganun na nga yata. No? I think it's going to be, as Martin, as Sec Martin described it, na yung mangyayari, gusto kasi ng president, incoming president, na ma-streamline yung mga agencies. So kumbaga, the simpler the better.
Okay. Ato na ho yung tanong, pinaka-importante para sa amin sa media. Seryoso ho ba si President-elect Duterte dun sa kanyang pag-avoid sa media? Yung ayaw niya na raw kaharapin ang media until the end of his term?
Well, you have to give it to the president na siya, he's a very serious person, very he's very sincere about his intentions. Pero yung siguro, I think the fact na iniligay niya, he actually emphasized having a presidential spokesperson. Ang pagkaka-describe po kasi niya is that the position will serve as a conduit. So kumbaga, he's open. He's open to having that relationship. He's open to having that conversation. I keep describing it as a conversation. Bukas po siya. And kumbaga, siguro ang this is where I'm coming from. And this is where I also want to emphasize it. He wants to avoid yung unnecessary sound bites, kumbaga avoid unnecessary noise na open to, which can be open to misunderstanding. Pero he wants an ongoing conversation na talagang yung naririnig niya, yung sinasabi ng tao talaga through the media, for example, and that the media also hears clearly what he's saying and not what they think they hear. Kumaga, yun po. So basically, I see him as very open to the fact na nandito po yung position. I believe it's a sign of openness.
Kasi if you don't mind, Secretary Abella, no? If we go back po dun sa press conference kung saan sinabi niya, di boycottin niyo ako, parang I think there was some disconnect or misunderstanding na hindi niya naintindihan that it was an international journalists group who proposed yung boycott at tinatanong lang ho siya nung kanyang reaction, and then he thought that it was a challenge sa kanya. So he ended up saying, o di i-boycott nyo ako, and we never got to clarify or sort this thing out. Paano ho ba ito?
Well, actually, I'm not exactly familiar with all the details yung sa nangyari, no? Pero the fact is, he has, from where I'm coming from, nakikita siguro niya na he also needs to be clear with what he really wants to say.
Okay.
That he doesn't want to be misunderstood.
Opo.
So kumaga nagkaroon lang ng konting pause, you know. Hindi ko sinasabing babalik, hindi na babalik, but sinasabi ko na this move of his is really his way of making sure that he is not misunderstood and will not be misunderstood. So yun po, so hindi naman siguro away o ano. I mean, basically as a person who wants to do his task, his job, he just wants to make sure na hindi madidiskaril. It will not be derailed. Whatever he intends to do will not be derailed by misunderstandings, further misunderstandings.
Kasi ang nangyari, even if the media probably, ako personally, if I may speak for myself, even if I as a media person would want to have a conversation with him, but yung call ho na i-boycott came from him mismo parang ayaw niya na humarap sa media. So paano po ba yan? Will you be speaking for him all the time? Or is someone trying to convince him na at some point he has to talk to the media himself kasi may mga importanteng pronouncements, especially ang bibigat po nung mga agenda niya federalism, pagbabalik ng death penalty, peace and order. Sabi niya 6 months solve na itong problema sa droga and crime. Ang bibigat ho nung agenda niya for him not to face the media or the public by way of the media.
Yeah, that I understand. And that's exactly why you have this spokesperson at this stage.
Opo.
Let's just take it step by step, siguro. Let's just take it step by step and let's listen to what he's saying, let's say through either to the PCO or through the spokesman. And then we also give you feedbacks like this. Kasi at this particular stage naman, nothing is official until July 1. You know? And so by that time, I'm sure and I'm hoping that we will really have a clear dialogue going on na para yung mga gusto yung malaman, yung mga tanong, mga sagot sa mga tanong nyo will actually be addressed.
May nabasa po ako, isa sa miyembro ng gabinete ni President-elect Duterte, isa sa secretary, sabi ho niya, they prefer, this incoming secretary would prefer na sa social media na lang daw ipadaan the messages that you want to get across, no? Kaysa sa mainstream media, kasi sa social media daw mas controlled ninyo yung mensahe. Totoo ho ba ito?
Hindi ko po narinig yung statement na yan. But whatever it is, it will be his, I assume it's his opinion. It's the Secretary's opinion. I don't know who actually made the statement. But syempre, you have a menu of media, hindi ba? You have a whole menu of channels in order to bring your message across. So social media is definitely part of it, but I'm not entirely sure. No, it's not. At this stage, it's not policy that there's no policy regarding it will only be media.
Social media, you mean?
Social media, yes.
Okay. So, kayo po, personally, kasi I know you were very active daw sa social media during the campaign.
Yes.
Ano po ba ang nakikita nyong role ng social media dito po sa incoming administration? Especially, there are people complaining na, or saying na meron daw mga trolls na in-employ po ang inyong kampo.
I'll try to answer the first one. No? Ano yung role ng social media? Katulad ng social media is a very disruptive technology. Kumaga, na-disrupt talaga yung traditional media, tama? And it actually became a deciding factor.
For you? For incoming President
for the
Duterte.
incoming president. It played a very significant role. In fact, ako personally, nagulat ako, kasi actually it democratized communication, di ba? I mean, kahit na sino, if you had the right word at the right time, you actually were able to reach, a huge number of people.
Exponential.
Exponential po siya. In fact, I had one particular post na inabot po ako na at least 35,000 likes, shares, or likes, I think, likes. Now, sinasabi ko is, I was amazed. I was amazed to do that. So, basically, the role of social media is really is significant. But I heard also that GMA has its own social media department.
Lahat na po ngayon may social media
And I think
platform.
I would suggest that you really consider it seriously. Not to replace you or what, because for example, in your particular case, people really listen to you, but you can be on here or on television or on social media. So basically, it's just expanding the area of reach.
But it's not as if ang mangyayari po puro kayo social media and i-avoid nyo ang mainstream media.
I'm here, right?
Okay. Yung trolls, may mga nagrereklamo po na parang ang dami daw trolls during the campaign ng Duterte camp. And until now, mukhang nandyan pa rin po sila. At ang allegations po, these are allegations, hindi ho ako nagsasabi nito because I don't have personal social media accounts. Yung mga programa ko lang po ang meron. May mga nagsasabi ho na they're being bullied, intimidated by trolls employed by the camp of the incoming president.
I don't have any official knowledge of this, pero all I can say is trolls perhaps, but employed, I doubt. No, I doubt if there's really a department there that says, let's employ these trolls. Pero what I can say is some of these people are very passionate and they will protect their interests. Yes.
Paano pwede ho bang tanungin siguro kayo, ano ho bang paraan kaya for us in the media para magets namin ang incoming president? Kasi may mga nakikita ho ang ilan sa amin na contradictions. Paano ho ba? How best to appreciate or understand the incoming president? In other words, paano ho ba siya in colloquial language? Paano ho ba siya dapat ispellingin?
Ayan. Siguro, it'll take a menu, no? It's a menu. First, siguro, we need to understand that part of it, I think, is a cultural dissonance, no? Kasi nga naman, yung mga Tagalog at mga Bisaya have traditionally been a little bit conflicted, hindi ba? Kasi hindi ba yung ibon, yung ebon, tsaka yung langgam, no? The langgam, and then
yung patis sa amin, ibang patis sa inyo. Toyo ang patis sa Bisaya.
And then also the sense of humor is really different. Visayan humor is really raw, very earthy. Kung pinag-uusapan honestly, mga private parts, mga ganon, something. And it's not considered, it's not really considered, how do you put it? It's not considered
vulgar?
It is vulgar. It is vulgar, but hindi siya, parang it's acceptable. No, I'm not saying this about, but on the other hand, so that's part of Cebuano, the Visayan Tagalog cultural dissonance. Pero siguro, ang ano ko po is, I'd like to go back siguro in trying to understand the president. The president sees himself really, he's very invested as a leader. Is a leader of the nation. And traditionally talaga, for example, hindi ba culturally kasi ang development natin, hindi naman talaga tayo dumaan ng tribal states, hindi naman tayo naturally naging feudal. Yung full development natin hanggang barangay at datu lang. So in a sense, yung role ng datu sa barangay is basically to protect and to look after yung kapakanan ng buong komunidad. So basically, I think we need to see the president-elect as somebody whose main interest is really the welfare of the entire community, the entire nation. So, kumbaga, yung kanya mga actuations, he doesn't see, as far as I can see, You know, as far as I can see, it's not so much as ito yung gusto ko, itong gusto ko. It's not a very individualistic, selfish, self-serving yung mga temper tantrums. No, these are really ang kanya pong inaantabayanan. What he is protecting is the welfare and the common good of the nation. So if we can see that, and if we can respect that, and if we can make efforts to really not just go for sound bites. I was sharing with some of your staff na kung pwede, wag lang po natin hanapin sound bites. But let us look for the entire quote-unquote narrative. Ano ba yung buong kwento? Ano ba yung pinag-uusapan natin? Ano ba yung talagang hinahangad natin? Hindi ba lahat ng pare-pareho naman hinahanap natin? We're all on the same team. Ang gusto po natin yung kaayusan ng bayan. Yung kaayusan, the welfare, the common good. So, kumbaga, ayaw niya masira yon. So, if we can try to get, hindi ba yung hinahanapan natin hindi po yung, if we can try to avoid hanapan ng mga mali, for example, like for example, there was one time I think there was napag-usapan yung kanyang health, and somebody said, I think one of the media said, do you have a medical certificate? I mean, parang hindi ba? Parang...
Pero nagkamali daw ho siya doon, ha? Sabi niya, iba yung reporter. Yung sinabi niya na nagsabi noon sa kanya, turns out, iba ho pala yung reporter na yun.
Well, yun po ang that is my understanding.
So if I follow po yung inyong argument, Secretary Abella, if I may, na kailangan intindihin yung buong narrative niya and not just rely on sound bites, paano kaya yun pag in-interview siya sa isang press conference katulad nga nung mga nakaraan kung saan hindi ho naging maganda yung resulta? Ganito
po siguro. I always go back to the article of Randy David doon sa column niya. Binanggit niya, sabi niya, I think there was a little, one difficulty with Mr. Duterte and the press was that they became too familiar with him and he was so open. Kumbaga, hindi ba in the space na when he was entertaining the media, it was all in the spirit of acceptance, of being one, yung ganon. So ang nangyari po is, I think his perception apparently is that some people overstepped. So, and began, I overstepped in the sense that some of his words were being given other meanings, so may nagkakaroon ng panibagong kulay.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary Abella. Marami pa ho akong gustong tanungin sana sa inyo. But I wish we had more time. Pero in the future, sana maanyayahan po muli namin kayo dito sa aming programa. Lalo na, kailan ho kaya ililift yung media ban ni... wala pa ho, wala pang definite. Sabi ni Secretary Andanar kanina, after June 30, baka naman daw haharap din ho siya eventually sa media.
And why not? Pero like I always say, it's a tamang panahon.
Aldab.
Ano ba yun? I'm not familiar with yan.
Maraming salamat po and thank you na pumunta ho kayo sa aming studio.
And I hope it was helpful.
Yes, it was. Thank you po.
Thank you.